Hey, welcome back to the Daily English Podcast. Let me ask you something. Have you ever watched an English video, maybe on YouTube, Netflix, or even a podcast, and thought, hey, I understand this? But then you talk to a native speaker in real life, and suddenly it feels like a completely different language. Words come out fast, phrases don't make sense, and you're left thinking, wait, what did they just say? If that's ever happened to you, don't worry, you're not alone. Many English learners feel exactly the same way. In fact, I hear this all the time from my students around the world. Teacher, I can understand you, but I don't understand other people. Why are English movies so hard? I study a lot, but listening is still a big problem. Sound familiar? Well, today is your lucky day, because in this episode, I'm going to walk you through 5 simple steps that will completely change how you listen to English. Yep, just 5 steps. Simple, clear, and powerful. These steps are used by thousands of my students who are now watching interviews, enjoying podcasts, and joining conversations with confidence. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start understanding, this episode is for you. Step 1. Listen to what you actually like. Now, this one may sound simple, but it's very important. Listen to something you're already interested in. That's it. Not boring English learning videos. Not random recordings full of difficult vocabulary. Nope, skip all that. I want you to start with content you love. Do you enjoy cooking, sports, travel, fashion, video games? Maybe you love cars or dancing, or watching interviews with celebrities. Whatever it is, go find that topic in English. Why? Because your brain already knows a lot about this topic in your native language. So when you listen to it in English, your brain is like, oh, I know this. I've heard this before, just in another language. This helps your brain make connections faster, remember new words more easily, and stay more focused while listening. Let me give you a real example. Last week, in a group lesson, 2 of my students were having a discussion. One was an architect, the other worked in construction. They were answering a deep question about challenges in their careers. And you know what? They both spoke confidently and fluently, not because their English was suddenly perfect, but because they were talking about something they knew and cared about. So the English came easier, faster, more naturally. That's the power of listening to something you like. So before you do anything else, go choose a podcast, a YouTube video, or even a TikTok about a topic you love. That's step 1. All right, step 2. Now that you're listening to your favorite content in English, you will do something simple but very important. When you hear a part you don't understand, just write down the timestamp. That's the time when the sentence happens. That way, you can come back to it later. Don't try to write the full sentence. Don't stop to look it up in the dictionary. Don't pause the video every 2 seconds. Just jot down the time. Example, you hear something confusing at 3 minutes and 46 seconds. Write 3:46, unknown part. That's all, nothing more. Why do this? Because when you stop too often or try to understand every word immediately, your brain gets frustrated and tired. You don't want to interrupt the full listening experience. So instead, just keep a notebook or use your Notes app on your phone and write 2:15, didn't understand. 5:03, strange expression. 8:12, fast part. That's perfect. Later, you'll return to these sections. That's where the real learning happens. Okay, now let's move to step 3. Here's where things get fun. You're going to take your list of timestamps from step 2 and go back to those parts of the video or podcast. But this time, you'll listen again carefully. Play that one difficult moment again and try to guess what the speaker said. Yes, guess. Even if you're not sure, make your best guess. Ask yourself, what does it sound like? What words can I recognize? What's happening in this part? You may not get it right the first time, and that's okay. This guessing exercise helps your ears and brain work together. It also helps you focus on small details like connected speech, pronunciation, and fast contractions. Let me give you another example. You listen to a podcast and hear the host say something at 2:56, and it sounds like on-clad knife. You're confused. What is on-clad knife? But the more you listen, you realize the host is actually saying on cloud 9. Now it makes sense. On cloud 9 is an idiom that means very, very happy. See? You discovered something new just by guessing and listening again. That's the magic of step 3. It trains your ears to stop translating and start recognizing. All right, step 4 is all about one powerful word: context. So far, you've guessed what a speaker is saying by listening again. Now, let's go deeper. This time, you're going to play the part of the video or podcast you didn't understand, but also include what comes before it and after it. When you add the full picture, you know what happens? Everything starts to make sense. Your brain begins to understand. Who are they talking to? What's the situation? What's the main topic? And this helps you figure out the missing word or phrase. Let's go back to our example. You heard someone say, "back on D-Day." Sounds strange, right? But then you listen to the full section, maybe 20 seconds before and after. Before, they were talking about technology in the past. After, they started talking about childhood memories. Now it makes sense. The speaker actually said, "back in the day," which is an informal way to say a long time ago. That's the power of context. It helps you understand something even if the words are difficult. So remember, if you're stuck, zoom out. Play the part before and the part after. Ask yourself, what are they talking about overall? And most times, your brain will connect the dots. The final step, step 5, is simple, but it completes the process. You're going to listen to it, the whole thing, again. This time, you'll be surprised. The same podcast or video you didn't understand 30 minutes ago will now feel so different. Why? Because you focused on your interests, took note of hard areas, broke down difficult parts, understood the context. Now your brain can finally say, "I get it. I understand. This is easy now." You'll feel proud. You'll feel confident. And most importantly, you're training your brain to learn naturally like native speakers do. Listening is not about translating. It's not about memorizing every word. It's about practicing and doing it consistently. That's why this final step is so powerful. Let's review the 5-step formula. Let's quickly go over the 5 steps again. Step 1. Choose content you enjoy, something fun, interesting, or familiar. Step 2. Play it normally and write down the timestamp when something is hard. Step 3.
Re-listen to those difficult parts and guess what's being said. Step 4. Listen to the context, what's before and after, to understand more. Step 5. Play the full thing again to review, enjoy, and boost your confidence. Yes, that's it. Simple, doable, and very, very effective. Bonus tip. Use a tutor or speaking partner. Sometimes, even after doing all 5 steps, you might still have questions. Maybe the expression is hard, or the accent is confusing, or you just want someone to explain it. That's okay. This is where having a tutor, online teacher, or regular speaking partner comes in. Ask for help. Say, "Hey, I listened to this, but I didn't get this part. Can you explain it to me?" That one conversation can make a huge difference, so don't be afraid to get help if you need it.
Quick story from my life. Before we wrap up today's lesson, let me share a quick story, just for fun. So I was a teenager. One day, I got a little upset with my mom. Nothing serious, just a moment. She told me, "Go to your room." Now, I was annoyed, but I didn't say anything out loud. Instead, as I walked up the stairs, I quietly made a sound. You know that sound kids make. It was so quiet, almost impossible to hear. But guess what? From downstairs, I suddenly heard my mom yell, "Don't suck your teeth." I almost dropped to the floor. I was so scared. She heard me from the kitchen all the way upstairs. I never did that again. We still laugh about it today, but I've learned something important. Listening is powerful. Even quiet sounds have meaning. You've just learned a powerful method to improve your English listening skills. Remember, it doesn't matter what level you are. If you use these 5 steps regularly, you will improve. You will feel more confident, and you'll enjoy learning even more. So choose a topic you love. Start listening today, and don't stop. Because the more you listen, the more you understand, and the more fun English becomes. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow this podcast, share it with a friend, and come back next week for more helpful, real-life English lessons. Thanks for learning with me today. I'm proud of you, and I know you can do this. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep speaking English.